everyone. Welcome back to another episode here in our Success Podcast. I'm very excited to introduce a very special guest to you, Sanuthi Vikramarachi. She's a news presenter for a very popular media channel. She has been doing comparing. She's been building herself a base as an English speaker. Sanuthi, very nice to have you here with us.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Sanuthi, how has your day been going? All good?
All good. I had a good sleep
Okay.
today because it's Sunday.
That's very important. Usually, what time do you wake up to go to work?
So to go to work, I wake up around 3:30. 3, yeah, because they come to pick me up around 4. So I have to wake up around 3:30 and yes.
That's very tough. So you do this every day, 5 days a week?
Yeah.
Wow. What time is your bulletin?
The time belt is from 6:30 to 8:30.
Okay.
From 6:30 to 8, we have news, and from 8 to 8:30, we have an interview. We
Okay.
talk about businesses and different kind of things.
Right. Interesting. So you got into English news reading, you've got into English comparing. Do you come from an English speaking background?
No.
Okay. So you speak in Sinhala at home?
Yeah.
How did you? So does any other member in your family speak English fluently? Your parents, your sisters?
My sisters, they do, but my parents, they comes from Sinhala background, so
Okay.
yeah.
That's very interesting. So how did you learn to speak English fluently? I mean, obviously to get a job in media is not an easy task. To do comparing, especially for big events like the ones that you're doing, it's obviously not an easy task. And you're doing it very confidently, you're speaking without hesitation. How were you able to build up this confidence?
So you have to love what you're doing, first thing. And when you want to learn something, even if it's English or any other language, you have to, love to learn. So then only you can, go on. So you can watch movies and you can listen to music. Then you can grab words from those things and the structure and how they speak, their accent, everything. So when you love listening and when you love watching movies, and those things can improve you. That's how I learned. I love to watch movies, I love to listen to music, and I love when others speak in English, I love to listen. So when you're listening to someone, you can learn a lot from them.
So a lot of people now, especially since I do classes, I get a lot of people that the biggest thing that's stopping them from speaking English well is that they're scared. And sometimes these people come from English speaking backgrounds and they're still scared to speak in front of a crowd. How did you build up that confidence to know that, okay, I don't come from an English speaking background, but I'm confident enough to go and speak with somebody? I'm confident enough to go and compare. How did you build up that confidence?
Confidence comes with when you're believing yourself. You have to believe yourself first. You can do that. I can do that. I can do this. So even if you're not good in English, don't worry. Don't worry about I will go wrong. Don't think about that. And all the grammar things, people are very much worried about the grammar and they compare themselves with others. So this person, he can talk so well. His grammar is so perfect and he speak very fluently. Don't think about others. Just believe in yourself. Even if you have the feeling you will go wrong, but don't think about that. Just go on. Start somewhere.
What most people struggle with is that first starting point. When you were in school, were you exposed to situations where you had to speak in English? Were you in different clubs or societies or sports that forced you to speak in English?
Yeah, in school I did Sinhala medium actually. So even in my school, we didn't have that chance to talk with our friends in English. Only in the English period, we get the chance to talk with English with our teachers. So, but when I come to the university, we had to talk in English because we have to do all our subjects in English and all the students, they are from different cultures and backgrounds. Some of my friends, they are very fluent in English, and we have to talk in English when we are in clubs like in Rotarac and Isaac. Everywhere it's English, and all the theoretical parts, all of that, they are English. So you have to, face it. Without starting, without talking, and without believing in yourself, you can't do that.
So you're currently at Colombo University.
Yeah.
Yes. Getting in there would not have been an easy task.
Yeah.
And you said that you got in your second shy,
Yes.
right? So obviously, at some point in life, you have failed at something. What would you say to people that are struggling with challenges in their own lives? If they have failed, a lot of people tend to give up. A lot of people don't tend to take that second chance. And even if they do, they don't give it their 100%. But you're someone that failed the first time around, you made a comeback, and you got into one of the most prestigious universities in the country. Can you just talk about that experience, how you faced that challenge, and how you finally overcame
Well, um, in my first shy, I was failed because I'm not someone who's that brainy. Yeah, because of that, I didn't give my 100 in my first shy. But after I got my results, I was so disappointed at myself because I have failed, literally failed. So all of my friends, they got really well good results, and they got into different kind of universities. I'm the only one who didn't get any chance to go to a university. So that made me realize that no, this is not me. I should work hard,
it?
right? So then I started my academics, and yeah, that's how I started it. And I didn't give up. That motivate me to do better. Yeah.
That's very interesting. So, when you were getting into Colombo University, you came from a Sinhala medium background,
Yeah.
right? In school, you have studied in Sinhala medium. A lot of people would struggle to make that transition immediately into English because when you get into the university, you have to do presentations, you have to do assignments. Was that easy, hard? Did it take some time to get familiar with the language? How was that experience for you?
It was hard because for me, I can write. I can write in English, I can think in English, but when it comes to talk, at that time I was a bit afraid because I didn't have that background to talk with people much. So, with that, I was so afraid to talk with people. But I knew that I know words, I know grammar, but it's not coming out from my mouth. That's the thing. So what I did was I talked with my friends. So I told you that they are very good in English. So I talked with them every time, and I think in English. So that it can help you to improve your English. So yeah, in university it was very hard to
Pick it
do.
up
Yeah.
initially. Interesting. So then now you're speaking quite confidently, right? You do comparing as well. How did you get into this? And obviously, to compare an event, you need to have energy. You need to be on the ball. You need to make sure that you're keeping an audience energized, you're interacting with them. Did you learn these skills from somewhere, or was this something you built up by yourself?
I stepped into public speaking when I was in my school. So I was in the media unit, and with that, I have started this. Uh, the confidence I had, and I started a public speaking in Sinhala. So yeah, when I was in my school, there was plenty of fluent speakers, and they were very good at what they are doing. So we didn't have any chance to host events in school because all the seniors got the chance. So I thought if I stick into Sinhala, I won't be able to host any event here. So why not try English? So that's how I got into English speaking. So my first event was a school assembly. I was very nervous, and all of my friends, They were like this and looking at me. I was shivering. So once I started it I got that I realized that this is something I can do well. So then I started improving the skills and everything.
That's very nice. What would you have to say to someone that is letting their fear hold them back? What would you recommend that they do to overcome this fear of speaking in front of a crowd?
Start somewhere. Talk to yourself first. Go in front of a mirror. Talk to you. Think in English. Explain things to yourself in English. Watch movies. Listen to others speaking. Then you will be, you can comfortable in speaking with, using English and everything. So you have to start somewhere.
You said that you like to watch movies, and movies are one of the things that
Yeah.
helped you build up the language. What are some of the movies that you enjoy? What would you recommend that people would check out?
Harry Potter.
Harry, I, I have, it's
Harry Potter, yeah. Their accent, and I love their accent.
okay.
Yeah.
The British accent
Yeah.
makes sense. Harry Potter. That's I have done a video when I first started doing TikTok. I did a video saying one of the movies you shouldn't watch if you're trying to learn English is Harry
Harry
Potter.
Potter, yeah,
And
yeah.
the reason I said that, I got so much hate for it. It was one of the videos that blew up, right? It like when I first started TikTok, obviously I started from zero. And I think at that point I had maybe about 10,000 or 15,000 followers. I remember within a week of putting that video out, I got close to about 15,000 additional followers because everybody was scolding me. Right? And the reason I said that is because there's a lot of spells
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
wizardry and words you typically would not use in the English language. So I said, okay, you don't say expelliarmus in
Yeah,
everyday
yeah.
English. But yeah, I got so much hate for that. But the thing is, you're right. I mean, if you actually pay attention to the vocabulary
Yeah.
that they use, if you pay attention to the accent in which they speak in and how beautifully, because we learn English from the British, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
their
yeah. That's
language.
right.
And that's the best way to speak the language. In fact, if you listen to American English, it's slightly different. Maybe even a tad harder to understand than the
Yeah,
British.
yeah.
And I think we as Sri Lankans have developed a very good absence of accent that we are able to speak quite clearly. I think when Sri Lankans speak in general, it's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
easy to
Easy to
understand
understand, yeah.
what they're saying. Are you into reading books? Because one of the things that I always recommend to people that they do if they want to improve their vocabulary is to read. Do you like to read?
I like to read, but
I don't know.
I like to read, but not books.
Okay.
I like to read articles and,
Because this is
different,
related to your job.
yeah, and newspapers. You can learn a lot of words there, and the structure, how they explain something. Yeah, that way you can understand and improve your English, your vocabulary, and the grammar parts, everything.
That is very true because now I'm personally someone that likes to read a lot of books. Articles are not really my thing,
Yeah,
but I think if you read a lot of newspapers, you read a lot of articles, you get to know a lot of things that are going
yeah,
on in the world, which I think is quite important, especially since you are in a field where it requires you to
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
updated about what's happening around the country, what's happening around the world. That's very interesting. So, what made you want to get into media? Was it something that you have always been doing in the past, or was this something that you suddenly were put into and you thought, okay, maybe it's a good field for me?
Um, Maybe because I love talking.
Okay.
Yeah, I love to talk, and with that, and I love the appreciation get after I did something. I love that attention, and because of that, I stepped into this. So yeah, that's how I stepped into.
Has being in media helped you with your profession as a compeer?
Yes, it is.
Has it helped you in getting more gigs, or has it helped you? speak better? How has it helped you build up this career?
Mm, it helped me to build up my confidence,
Okay.
right? So with that, people watch me and they think that I can do this thing better. So that's how I get different events to compare. Yeah.
That's very interesting. So, what do you plan to do moving on into the future in terms of media? Because currently you have started off at a specific place. You're a couple of, you've spent some time
Mm-mm.
there. You've built up this space of comparing for yourself. And I think you have built a good confidence in your ability to speak in front of a crowd, because starting from a background that you had no English speaking experience in, to building yourself up to where you are now, I think you've come a long way. What do you think is the future for yourself in this industry?
Still, I have a lot to learn. I'm not a professional speaker yet, but I have learned a lot. And I guess I have a long way to go. I still want to, I feel like I don't have much words in me. So I have to improve that. And confidence, I feel like I'm confident enough to handle anything. So I have to improve myself more to go where I want to be.
That is very true. For someone that is looking to build their career as a compeer, as a public speaker, what advice would you give to someone that is just starting out in this industry?
Just believe in yourself. Start somewhere. Don't worry about what others think about you. You can go wrong. You might not be fluent in English or sing hello or anything. You have to start somewhere and don't worry about the grammar errors. You have to like speak. Then only you can learn the grammar errors that you made. And you don't have to use a lot of words. You don't have to show them that you know a lot of words. Just use simple words. You can deliver a clear idea using simple words. So yeah, most people, I mean the fluent speakers, they use different kind of words. Sometimes we can't understand what they are saying. But what I use simple words, just some simple words every day we use. I use those to handle everything. So that's how I do it. And people can understand what I'm saying. Even if I make grammar errors, even if I don't use much words, people can understand what I'm saying. So that how you can improve yourself. Now today you use 20 words, next day you can use 30 words, right? The other day you can use 50 words. That's how you can improve yourself. Just use simple words. You can deliver a clear idea with that. Sometimes you can be fluent in English and you know a lot of words, but you can't speak. You can't arrange the sentence properly. You can't arrange the words properly because you don't know, okay, what word I should use next, because there's a lot of words in your head, inside your head. Just use simple words. Start somewhere. Don't afraid that other people will think that I don't know about this. I don't know anything. Don't think like that. Just do it. Go for it.
You said something very interesting, which is you shouldn't worry about other people's
Yeah.
opinions. Now, that is something that holds a lot of people back. Being in media and being a bit of a popular figure, you obviously deal with some level of criticism.
Yeah.
Even for me, I mean, I'm not as popular or anything, but some of the videos we put out gets a lot of backlash, gets a lot of criticism, and most people would feel very discouraged or disheartened by it. What is your method of handling this criticism?
I don't care. Simply, I don't care. Um, yeah, people can say anything. Sometimes they don't have what you have, and you don't have what they have. So they don't have any, how to say it. Just don't care. That's what I do. People say different kind of things, but when they tell me things, I just get what I want. Like the things that will improve me, those are the things that I listen. The rest I ignore.
That's very interesting because, I mean, I more or less do the same thing as well because, see, as a teacher, as a lecturer, I always try to put out the best possible information online. And whether it be on social media or anywhere else, I'm constantly trying to give value, trying to teach, trying to do podcasts like this. And you won't believe sometimes some of the videos we put it out with good intention, but we get so much backlash on some of the videos we do. And if you start to think, what is this person saying? He
Yeah,
scolded
yeah,
me, he's
that's the
doing
thing.
this, he's doing that. But what you have to understand also is these are people that have not done anything important in their own life, that
Yeah.
are just sitting in front of a screen trying to bring the person who's actually putting in some value down. There's a very nice saying that goes, no one who is doing better than you is going to want to put you down.
Yeah.
It's always people that are not doing as well that are trying to pull you back.
Yes,
Right?
that's
So
true.
that's a very interesting perspective because when you start worrying about what other people have to say about you, that is the main thing that stops you from going forward in life.
And
And
I see that most people, they compare themselves with others. And when you compare yourself, when you are in a competition with someone else, you can never win. So you have to have a competition with yourself. You should do better than yesterday. Today you have to be better. Day after tomorrow you have to be even better. So yeah, you have to have a competition with yourself. When you compare yourself with others, okay, she achieved this and that, she's really good at this, that, you can never win.
that is very true. Now, a lot of people also struggle with a lack of vocabulary, and you said you need to use the simple vocabulary that you have in order to be able to communicate with
Yeah.
anybody. The thing is, a lot of people have this fear that, okay, if I don't know all these big words, if I don't know the more complex vocabulary to use when I'm conversing with someone, I'm just not good enough. How do you battle that? Because I also understand that it's not easy for someone to build that confidence because, like, for example, if I was to speak Tamil and I just picked up some basic words, I'd still feel very incompetent in my ability to speak fluently in Tamil. How do you battle that problem of, okay, I don't have the vocabulary of a very complex person, but I'm confident enough to speak with the language that I have? What would you say to someone that's battling with that?
um you don't have to be ashamed about that, not knowing big words. But if you can deliver a simple idea using simple words, even a big idea using simple words, that's enough, I feel. And now I am someone who like to learn different kind of languages. So now I know Tamil, Hindi, and Chinese.
Whoa.
But in that too, I don't know a lot of words, but
Okay.
I understand what they are saying, and I can talk with an Indian people or an Indian one or a Tamil one using simple words. So you don't have to be ashamed about that. If you are a Sinhala background, if you comes in a Sinhala background, you have to be ashamed not knowing Sinhala well.
That
If
is
you
true.
can't
Yeah.
speak Sinhala, if you don't know the grammar and not the hard one, I mean the simple grammar that we know, if you can't explain something in Sinhala properly,
Yeah.
that's where you have to be ashamed about yourself. In English, none of us are perfect. So even I still learn how to explain things, some words, some grammar things, everything. So you don't have to be ashamed.
So that's very interesting. You said, Hindi, Tamil, and
Yeah.
Chinese. How did you learn these languages? Like, what got you into?
So Hindi I learned from watching
I've
movies.
heard that from so
And
many people.
you can literally learn their
I
everything.
love Hindi movies. Okay, I've
Yeah.
been watching Hindi movies for about a good 10, 15 years. I have not picked up Hindi at all.
No, it's easy. When you listen to them, you can pick their words. Like now, if I want to say my name, Mera naam Sanuthi. That's how you say it, just two words.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. What about Tamil?
Tamil, same. From movies, I learned that.
Damn. And
Yeah.
so then what about so Chinese? Chinese again, do you watch Chinese movies
No,
or?
no, Chinese. It because we have to choose three subjects in our university in our first year. So I chose Chinese, econ, and what else? Oh my God, international relations. So that's how I learned Chinese. But Hindi and Tamil from
Purely from
movies.
movies.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, see, a lot of people, now even I tell them, hey, you have to watch English movies, you have to listen to English songs. But the thing is, people really struggle to sometimes pick up the language from just watching a movie.
Mm-mm.
Do you do something in addition to just watching it? Maybe do you take down notes or do you practice after watching the movie? Or how do you pick up the language?
I don't use subtitles. Try to listen.
Oh, okay.
Try to listen and look at their mouth, how they deliver the word. So then you can memorize how they speak it. Then you can easily understand and easily memorize the words.
Do you watch movies with the intention of learning, or do you just watch it and you're like, okay, let me just try and learn something from this as this is going on?
Yeah, that's how.
It's more of a casual thing as opposed
Yeah.
to intentional learning.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
That's very interesting. What are your thoughts about now? You see, I personally feel that one of the things that's holding the younger generation back from being exposed to the English language is that certain media channels, especially Sinhala media channels, they dub all these English cartoons into Sinhala. I personally think that's a crime
Yeah.
because, see, it doesn't matter whether we are Sri Lankans and we are catering to the Sinhala mass audience. And it also makes sense for ratings to dub it. But at the same time, you're really holding a generation back from speaking confident English. Because I remember one of the ways that even my parents got me to learn the language was they used to sit me down in front of
Mm-mm.
these good cartoons and then get me to listen to how they
Yeah,
converse,
yeah.
how they have a conversation. And so, like, for example, the asterisk is now Surapappa. And, kids are not really
That's
learning
right.
anything
Yeah, yeah.
substantial from this. What are your thoughts about
I
this?
hate that
Hmm.
because you can't really enjoy it.
Hmm.
Like when it comes to Frozen or Tangled, the Disney movies, all of they dubbed.
Yeah.
So you can't really enjoy the real
Hmm.
Frozen.
Hmm.
Like so yeah.
I don't
That
know how they dub musicals into Sinhala because then you have to turn the song
yeah.
into Sinhala as well. I've never.
They do that too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because I remember even now they used to have this show called, so even Scooby Doo. Scooby Doo, the original Scooby Doo song is so nice,
Yeah.
but then they've dubbed that into Sinhala. I get it, it's for ratings, and I actually had another guest on the show who spoke about this, said that he's also into
Mm-mm.
media and so on. And then when I brought this up with him, he said that's because they want ratings.
Yeah,
What kind of
yeah, yeah.
question is that? But at the end of the day, we are really holding our people back from improving the language and learning better English.
Mm-mm.
And I think honestly, that's quite a crime. When it comes to learning English in schools, what was your own experience like? Were you taught well? Do you think it could have been done better? What are your thoughts about this?
I feel like when we do our studies in Sinhala medium, we only get a chance to talk in English when it comes to English period, right? So we don't have that background to talk with our friends or teachers because we did it in Sinhala. So I feel like students they should have some chance to talk in English more
Hmm.
when they are in the school,
Hmm.
when they are learning. Yeah, that should be changed.
We should get more opportunities to speak in English when we are in school. Absolutely, because learning grammatical structures, learning
Yes.
theory on how to speak a language is like reading a book on swimming. You can read all you want, but at the end of the day, when someone pushes you into the
Yeah.
deep end, you can't swim unless you have swum
So,
before.
yeah.
That is very true because you have to be able to speak the language if you want to get good at being a speaker. When it comes to being in front of the camera, right, this is the first time you're sitting on the opposite end
Yes.
of an interviewer's
I'm
seat.
very much nervous about that.
That's very
That's
surprising
why.
because You are used to sitting on this chair.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
feel nervous when you sit here?
I can do your role though.
But when you're the one talking, it's
Yeah.
it's more daunting. That is true. So when you're in front of the camera, what are some of the challenges you face? Because I know a lot of people in media, and I know, okay, so when you're doing the news broadcast, you have someone in your ear,
Yeah,
you have the teleprompter running, and it's chaos. It's chaos going on over
it
there.
is.
How do you take that stress? How do you handle that pressure?
My gosh. It's very hard. Sometimes my brain froze because I don't have words sometimes. I do my program in Sinhala. So even I do it in Sinhala, sometimes I don't have words to interpret, and sometimes I don't know anything about the news because we are not just giving news, we have to interpret the news and tell the audience about our perspective of that news.
Hmm.
So you have to have a general idea about literally everything
Hmm.
when it comes to politics and economics, everything. So on air, doing that is very stressful, and sometimes they tell you your ear. හරි දැන් මේක හරියන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් break එකට දෙන්න දැන් මේකට දෙන්න දැන් අරකට දෙන්න. Oh my god, lot of talking, and they talk to my ear and I also interpreting something and those words coming out my mouth. Yeah. It's very stressful and it's very hard.
How do you prepare for now? Obviously, if you have to interpret the news and give your own opinion about things. Now, I think one of the presenters that I like to watch is a singular presenter that I like to watch is Chamudita. He, he gives his 2 cents about everything. Fantastic guy, great guy. He has a very aggressive style of interviewing, has a very aggressive style of interpreting the news. I would think that he does a lot of prior preparation before
Yeah.
going and sitting in that chair, because whatever he talks about, he has an opinion. He has some important facts to bring, some interesting things to say about it. How do you prepare for each segment that you do? Do you have prior time to prepare? Do you get news on the spot? How does this work?
So we get into the channel around 5.
Okay.
So from 5 to 5:30, we have time to go through all the newspapers and all the websites, news websites, BBC, CNN. I read those and I get an idea about what happened before we start the program. And even now, most of the media personalities that came from our channel, they still read newspapers. They still read everything when they have time. Then only they do their program. So I read newspapers and I get an idea about what have happened, and yeah, I take notes.
You take
Yeah.
notes. Do you now? I remember when I was doing radio news, sometimes we don't have enough time to prepare, especially when we are getting a news on that spot. When we get some breaking news or something like that, it's not easy to, not that it's not easy, but there's no time to go through it beforehand or
Yeah.
whatnot. Do you
Sometimes
have?
we also don't have time. But meanwhile, when we do the program, we have a tab so we can go through all the websites, and I download Dinamina and everything. Even in the program, I read. That's
Really?
how,
Do you
yeah.
how do you manage that? I mean, obviously, if you're I would think that the reason I don't even have a tab or a
Yeah.
phone in my hand is because I want to try and give the full attention here as opposed to having something with me. How do you manage that?
I have a partner. So when he
Oh,
talks, I can go through. When I talk, he can
okay.
go through. That's how we manage it.
That makes sense
Yeah.
because one of the reasons I don't have
Oh, no,
anything,
you can never do that.
it's tough. It's tough. So that's good. That's good that you have two people
Yeah.
constantly being able to support each other.
But you have to listen to him as well because නේද Sanuthi කිව්වහම I don't know what he know. I can't like, you know,
Pick up.
comment it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. That is very interesting. What is the most challenging aspect about your job as a interviewer, as a newscaster? What's the most challenging? What's the biggest challenge you have faced?
I might say interpreting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Having an opinion.
That's
Because
very hard because you have to be in a middle ground. So then
Mm.
you are not biased.
Mm.
So yeah, you are responsible each and every word coming out of your mouth. So you have to know what you are saying and what you are delivering. You have to, yeah, that's the biggest.
Do you get penalized for saying the wrong thing?
Sometimes,
Okay.
for me, not yet.
Yeah, because I remember when I was doing radio news, I had come home late the night before. I came home at about 3 or 3:30 and I had to be at the news bulletin again by 6. So I was on like 1 hour, 1.5 hours of sleep. And this was heavy during the election time. And we had to read a news article that was referring to the Elections Commission. Okay. So now it was a long article,
Okay.
and for Elections Commission, I had to say that word 3 times in that article. And instead of Elections Commissioner, I said Electronics Commissioner thrice. I got fined so bad for
Oh God,
that because it was a
that
huge
happened.
blunder on
Yeah.
there. Ever since that, I mean, my boss was a really nice guy. He sat me down and said, "Look, this mistake was made, but just make sure this doesn't happen again," because we got so many
Mm,
complaints and it was really really bad. So I mean, when I was doing radio news, that was just us
yeah.
reading. I can't even imagine how you think of things on the spot and interpret. That I would assume is quite a challenging
Yeah,
role.
yeah, that is.
That
And
is
people
crazy.
don't know what media personalities do. They think that they just sit somewhere and talk about something,
Hmm.
but there's a lot of things happening around them
Hmm.
when they are doing that.
Hmm. It sounds like a very intense role. Because I remember now, because I was doing radio news again, we didn't have a lot of the similar pressure that someone in TV would go through. And I was doing English news again. So it was actually the Sinhala news team that would source the information, do the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
reporting. We would just translate that and take it in English. It was a very easy job role, I would say. But I used to see how much the Sinhala news team used to struggle
Yeah,
to source the news, to send reporters. Every time something happens, they are so stressed out because the moment you get something wrong,
yeah,
that's it. You get fined, you
fine,
get
yeah.
penalized, could even be the end of your career. How do you, I mean, at the end of the day, that's a lot of pressure, that's a lot
Yeah.
of stress to take on. This is not the only thing you're doing. You're doing other things on the side. How do you manage that time? How do you handle that pressure? You said you're up at 3 in the morning
Yeah.
and then you have university after that. How do you manage this time?
That's because I know where I want to be and I love what I'm doing. So I'm not just doing it because I love it, because I want to be in somewhere in this field. I have that idea in my mind. So I work hard for that and it automatically clear the way for me. I, yeah, I manage my time for that. That's how I do that. I love the job I'm doing. I love whatever I'm doing. So that automatically creates the time for me.
Wow, that's interesting. So, finally, for someone that is looking to learn English, that is looking to become more confident, become a better speaker, be more confident in their ability to communicate, what would you have to say to someone in that position?
um, as I mentioned before, you have to believe in yourself and start somewhere. Um, don't compare yourself and try to improve yourself. Try to learn new things, try to learn the language, and when it comes to English or Sinhala or Tamil or any language, try to learn new words, try to learn as much as possible, and don't be afraid to speak. None of us are perfect. So don't be afraid to, or don't be ashamed of speaking. You can go wrong, then apologize. Say to them that you are not fluent in this language. So I'm trying to be perfect. Say it. Just people can understand. We all are humans. We all go wrong. We all make mistakes. So don't worry about that. Start somewhere Be confident and believe in yourself.
Fantastic. One final question before we wrap things up. How important is the skill of communicating if you want to do well in life?
Well, communicating is, I feel like it's very important because sometimes people they don't talk what they feel, they don't communicate how they feel. Because of that, you lose your friends, your loved ones, your family. So when something is on your mind, when you feel something, if you are even in relationship, even when it comes to your friends, even when it comes to your family, when you feel something off, say it. Tell them that I don't like when you do this. I feel like if we do this, it can be better. Likewise, you can communicate. When you have a feeling, just speak, just communicate. That's very important when it comes to life.
Do you have any questions for me before we wrap it up?
Well,
Now is when the
um,
interviewer in you comes out.
yeah. How you manage all this? Like, how you manage your speaking abilities, your skills?
I am very passionate about what I do. So I do a couple of things. I work in corporate. I work for a
Yeah, that's
startup in IT in cybersecurity, and that I keep as a source of income that funds most of the other things that I do. But I love the job. I love my boss. I have a fantastic work environment over there. So it's very relaxed. I'm not someone who can work a usual 9 to 5 job. So this job allows me, gives me the freedom to operate in the way that I want, which then gives me the freedom to run my own business where I do training, I do public speaking, IELTS, spoken English training for students. The podcast is something that I genuinely love to do because I like to meet new people. And when I was sitting and thinking to myself, okay, how can I interact with more people? How can I get to know more people? The easiest way to get that done was the podcast because I have a steady flow of guests because I have a lot of students who come to learn
yeah.
from my public speaking classes. I mean, we've done a lot of videos with top corporate people, entrepreneurs, people that are doing well in the industry, and a lot of them have come through my classes. So I have a steady flow of guests coming in. And also, it's a good chance to meet new people that are
Yeah.
breaking into the field just like
When
yourself.
you're in a public speaking, when you're in this field, you get to know different kind of people and
Absolutely.
interact with them. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I get that question of how do you manage or balance a lot of things at the same time. And just like you said, if you really like what you do and you
Yeah.
enjoy the process of doing it, I think it's not a task. For me, this Sunday, I mean, I've spent a good part of my morning here.
Yeah.
I did a podcast before this. I was filming some content. But to me, it's a fantastic day. I enjoyed it. I did what I loved. I had a
Yeah.
great conversation with amazing people, and I feel refreshed at the end of it. I don't feel tired. I don't feel like I had a hard day. I feel refreshed and I feel great going into the next day as well.
Yeah. And yeah, you have to love what you're doing. Sometimes people they just do things just because someone else doing it. You
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 can't do
can't
that,
do it.
especially
Yeah.
something like this. You have to enjoy it. This is not a task. This is not something that stresses me out. I love it. I love to sit down here. I love to have a conversation. And to me, it's just it's just an out of this world
So you're
experience.
not nervous to meet new people?
Not at all. Not at all. I love it because I love to get to know people. I love to know how they function, and especially when people from different backgrounds come in, there's so much to learn. I'm also someone that's starting my own thing. I'm trying to run my own business. I've had a lot of problems, pitfalls, challenges. But when I talk to people that have already overcome those challenges in their own lives, it's great to get advice from
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Sometimes, I've been teaching these people for a good 3 4 months, and then I find out, oh wow, they're the director of this company. Like, whoa. Right, why are you learning from
Yeah.
me? And then it's very nice because they come and say, hey, it's not about the age,
Yeah.
because some of these guys are 50, 55 years old, and they say it doesn't matter that we are learning from a younger guy. We also want to improve our skills, and that there's a lot that I can learn from them. So it's a fantastic experience. So I feel no fear or nervousness when it comes to meeting new people.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Anything else?
Well, there's a lot to ask. Do we have time?
Oh, of course. I told you, this is a
Well,
very relaxed conversation.
how about so let's say you meet a tough guy or someone who don't speak much. How do you handle that in a podcast?
Very good. That's a fantastic question. When I meet people that don't like to talk as
Yeah,
much,
yeah,
then
that's
I do a lot of talking because I want to make that person feel comfortable.
yeah,
There are a few reasons why people wouldn't talk. One is that they feel a bit shy.
yeah,
You're in front of the camera, lights are hitting you. It's not a very comfortable environment
yeah,
for some people. Or it could be that in general they just don't like to talk
yeah,
too
yeah.
much. So either case, what I try to do is I try to speak as much as possible. I try to put them into a comfortable situation that gets them to open up. Once they get into a flow, if it's the shy one, they will start talking.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's the person that doesn't talk in general, then I just keep the conversation going. I always try to add in my input to whatever the conversation is happening. So that is how I try to tackle those kinds of situations, because you always have to understand that there are people that love to talk.
Yeah.
Those people
Those,
I
yeah.
don't talk at all. I mean, I just let them do
To do,
their
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I just ask a question and let them do the talking because they have value to give. If it's the other way around, I try to give in my input. I try to do a lot of the talking just to make sure the conversation is flowing, they're comfortable,
Yeah.
and overall, people also have a good experience when watching the podcast. Because if it gets awkward,
Yeah.
right, and the conversation stops, that can be quite a
Yeah,
challenge.
yeah, that's true.
That's a very good question.
Because sometimes when I do these interviews, some people they don't talk. When we ask the question, they're just, oh, am I? Then say something about this. Because it's not like podcast. When we interview something, we have to talk about themselves. So some people we get to know them in that time. So we don't know to ask anything, or we can't just talk about, we can't talk bullshit on air. So yeah, it's a bit hard to handle those people.
The best way I find to tackle that kind of situation is just to give our opinion about the topic that we are talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
If we can give our 2 cents, and I mean, you interpret the news, you should be able to speak about any topic. So that's mainly how I go about it. Because then even the other person, he doesn't feel like he's making the situation awkward, because constantly the interviewer is asking the questions
Yeah.
and answering it himself, giving their input and trying to take the best out of the person who is talking.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All right, fantastic. Thank
you.
you so much for being here today. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you so much for having
No
me.
problem at all. All right, guys. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, share this with a friend, and drop a comment down below as to what you thought of this video. Till our next video, keep practicing.